the Tesoro Outlaw non-motion all metal mode. When I set this up to search, I want to ground balance it first, so it's in the auto all the way to the left. The switch is over there to the auto all the way to the left, and I'm going to turn, it is on. Get it to where I just barely hear an audio signal. You lift the coil and you hear noise, that's negative. Now here's something you have to realize about this machine, that if you're ground balanced in the negative, like this is now, and we hold, the coil is left on the ground when you switch over to the non-motion, you don't hear nothing as long as the coil's on the ground. As soon as you lift it, her off the ground, you hear the negative signal comes through very loud. So we switch it back into auto. If you want to search in that negativity, keep it off the ground and then switch over. You should be okay. Now I'm going to go to discriminate. Okay, and now I'm going to switch it back, and I'm okay. But as soon as there's a tab down here, hitting that about 8 inches off the ground. I'm going to switch it back into discriminate, getting the tab, and I'm going to switch it back into no motion. Get that just fine. I'm going to switch it into threshold, right? Now I'm going to have trouble if I switch out of threshold into non-motion. What you want to do is lift the coil off the ground, then switch it into your no motion. Okay, it'll do just the opposite if it's positively ground balanced. Indiscriminate now. From discriminate to no motion. To discriminate to no motion. Nothing, no problem. If I go into threshold based, it's best to lift that coil off the ground before you switch over to your no motion. Okay, if you're in threshold and you keep the coil on the ground and you switch to the no motion and then lift, you have trouble. Then press the retune. Now we'll go back into the threshold all metal. Let's ground balance it into the plus. Okay, now it's plus. I lift the coil off the ground, switch into no motion, lower the coil. Start sounding off. Back into threshold, auto. Keep the coil on the ground, switch into no motion. No problem. It's like it retunes to where it's at, but now I'm not getting the target because it's kind of detuned it. So if you're positively balanced, switch it into the threshold. Keep it off the ground, or down to the ground switch, coming out of the threshold auto, holding it in the air, switch to the no motion, and I lower it and I have trouble. I mean, I can hear this fine, but it's picking up the ground signal and amplifying that. A proper ground balance is in order when searching. Near neutral. There's our threshold mode. We'll switch over in the air to no motion. And I don't have a problem now. And yet I'm no motioning this tab just fine. Now you can turn your threshold knob to the left to shorten that signal a little bit. But those are some things to keep in mind, is your ground balance is going to affect how goofy this thing reacts, okay? Tab. Now I want to pinpoint it in the no motion. Switch over. If I want more depth, I suppose I can turn my threshold up again. Now the primary advantage of this no motion, as far as I'm concerned, is maybe hunting some really mineralized ground or on a beach where you can't swing fast in the water. I mean, or get in, spots where you can't swing. This no motion is going to be the thing to use, especially underwater where you're going to wear yourself out trying to swing it from side to side. All you got to do is just gently move it and you're going to hit something, especially in the sticks and the brush. And it is very sensitive to metal, so it's not going to be good for close to metal posts and things like that. Okay, my 2 cents.